ask you a few questions now. Who likes to go to school? There you go. School is good, isn't it?
I think school's okay.
School is okay. Okay. Well,
I'm homeschooled.
okay. Well, but we'll go with okay. Right? That's pretty fair. But you get some grades in school, don't you? Do you like grades? Yeah, a lot. Okay. But I'll tell you something. When I used to go to school, my grandfather used to ask me almost every day, "What did you learn in school?" He never asked me, "What grade did you get?" And later on, then I found out that was a very valuable lesson. Because we want to go to school, grades are very good, but we want to learn some valuable lessons too. And today, I have also a valuable lesson for you to learn, and for all of us. Okay? You know what kind of feast we're going to celebrate, or holiday?
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. And part of Thanksgiving is
Turkey.
turkey. We eat a lot.
And mashed potatoes.
And mashed potatoes. What else?
I love mashed potatoes.
Olivia, you love mashed potatoes? Okay. Okay. Sammy, what do you like? Pumpkin pie.
And wool.
And the cream?
And also
The
wool.
whipped cream. Okay. How about you, Stella? Turkey. But a big part of the dinner is the pumpkin pie that I try to, I try my best to paint it here. See, well, let's imagine that this is pumpkin pie. Okay, and there was one boy, and he had a sister. He was older boy. You want to name him? We can tell any name for a boy. Let's name him
Chris.
Chris. Okay, there was a boy, Chris, and he had a sister. Want to tell any name? Olivia. Hmm?
Skirt is a kitty.
Okay, well, how about giving that girl a name? It was Chris and his sister. Any name? Christine? Okay, so there was a Chris and Christine, and Chris was older, and they had a pumpkin pie. And now, you know how he divided this pumpkin pie? I'll show you. There was a large piece, and there was a smaller piece. And that's how he wanted to share with his sister. You know which one he gave to his sister, Christine? The little one. Yeah. He kept this large piece for himself.
Because he was older.
Because he was older, yeah. That's a good answer. But these kids put me on spot here, you know. Yeah, that's true, but also, you know, his sister, when she saw that, she started crying, and she said, "Chris, that's not fair, because you gave me a smaller piece." And he said, "Well, how would you do that?" he asked her. And she says, "Well, if I were you, I would give you a larger piece and I would have a small one." And he said, well, what's wrong with you? That's what I did, right? He gave himself a large piece and made her a small piece. And they kind of laughed about it, and then they cut it in half, and then they just ate the whole pie. And what do you think we learned from this? That we want to share. Correct? Half and half. And even if we want to give some larger piece to someone else, that's even better. That's a very valuable lesson. Because we want to share with our brother or with our sister. Not to think that she or he's going to get the smaller piece, but we rather give him a larger piece. Because we want to do it out of love. you can go back on that. Certainly, it is a valuable lesson that we can learn. And I'd like to share a little story with you. There was a fellow that was crawling in the desert, and he saw a beautiful golden chalice there. And he got so excited as he was crawling to the chalice. As he got there, and the chalice was with gold plated with beautiful jewelers around, there was no water in it. And he said, this chalice is useless here, and he almost died. And that's what's happening in our lives many times. We try to look for something material. We try to focus on something beautiful. But what is really important is what's inside that chalice. And in our spiritual lives as well. We should create that chalice out of virtues of our lives. And that living water that we fill the chalice with is God's love. And maybe on the bottom of the chalice should be the virtue that's called humility. And deeper that chalice is, there is more place for God's love. More shallow that chalice is, there's not much room for God's love. Think about that. Think about that valuable lesson in our spiritual lives. And one more thing I'd like to share today. In our lives, the devil will make us think that we have no value. That we have no value at all. And then he'll buy us cheaply. You don't want to fall for that. You want to work for that value in your life and fill it with God's love. That's the valuable lesson that we can learn from today, even from today's gospel. We don't want to follow the example of that rich man, that he was trying to collect everything for himself. And he separated himself from other people. And that was no good for him. What we want to do is the opposite. Make other people happy and fill our lives with those virtues and with God's love. That's the valuable lesson of today's gospel. Glory to Jesus Christ.
Glory to God.